And good afternoon, everyone. Here we go again. And today, again, it's a big pleasure to welcome Andreas Schulz. Hi, Andreas. Good to have you here. How are you doing today?
Hi, Václav. Thank you very much for inviting me again. It's a great pleasure and an honor. I'm okay. Could have slept a little bit more, as you can see, maybe, but I'm really happy to be here.
Good. So what we did last time, we had like 400 people in the live stream and so many questions which came in that we basically could answer probably 20% of those.
Yeah.
And this was the reason why we started today. And guys, the stage is yours. Ask whatever you want, and we will answer as good as we can. So today LinkedIn Live is only about your questions. And before you get warm and fill your keyboard with questions, I have already a starting question to Andreas. And what is the single biggest mistakes what you see which people are doing when they're applying to a company like Bayer?
I know I have written about this very often, but I think what still astonishes me, how many job seekers are playing a numbers game. Means the first and foremost important thing to do is look for quality in applications, and this is starting with being a good match for the role. Too many people surf and see a title and they think, oh yeah, could be right. The right way to do it is don't look only at the title. Read it carefully. What are the tasks? What are the requirements? Am I really a good match? Or am I only a maybe? And if you think, oh, maybe they would invite me for an interview, forget it. They will never invite you. You must see that you are a very good match, or at least a good match, and like feel this is my role. Then you should apply. If you don't see this, continue to search and find a better role. And if you then are a good match, tailor your application, apply. So basically, you should be spending more time in searching roles that match you very well and tailor your applications than just sending applications. Job seeking is not a quantity game, not a numbers game, it's a quality game.
Mm-hmm. So we have the first questions. Thank you for that, Suchetana. I will read it loud because I know that several people are using this LinkedIn Live when they are doing their fitness, rowing and stuff like that. My question is, how is the job market in UK for people outside UK in terms of visa sponsorship? Are applications auto-rejected when we select need visa sponsorship? Suchenata, I am in Switzerland and Andreas is in Germany. So we are definitely not the experts on the UK job market, but if the systems, and this is my understanding, clearly states you need the visa sponsorship and you need it, and this is the exclusion criteria, yes, you will be auto-rejected. What is your take on that?
Absolutely. And I think it's only fair to assume, because it's the same in Switzerland and in Germany, if there's a lot of local talent on the market actively looking, you will always do not so well or have a harder time to find a job as somebody who comes from the outside.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, it's not necessarily discrimination or racism. I wouldn't call it like that. It's just the fact.
It's a burden on the companies. The companies have to pay some money. They have to process it. They have to sponsor you. And unfortunately, the entire migration is based not on your skills, but on your passport, which you are holding. And if I would be the god, I would make it all based on your merit. Can you add to the success of the society? Please come in. If not, stay where you are. That would be my opinion. But unfortunately, it's not like that. So yes, with highest probability, you will be auto rejected. Yeah.
Because they are asking this question to exclude you, in fact, if you need sponsorship, because they don't want the trouble.
Yeah. This is a very philosophical one. How do international applicants then make an entry? Maybe I go first.
Yes.
In the old days, that was very easy. For Novartis, you went to India, Hyderabad, you made a good job there, and then you have been moved to Basel on an exchange program, and this was it. And it's very, very difficult. The chances are pretty low, but still for me, what applies is A strong LinkedIn profile, a clean strategy that you fill your LinkedIn profiles with the right code words, that you publish stuff which is adding value to your community, and third, that you network with the people who might be the door openers, who might know someone at the company who might sponsor you. But it's very, very difficult.
Yes, but I think you are describing the best way to do it. At Bayer, it's the same because, as some of you know, I'm a senior talent partner for Bayer, actively working for Bayer in Berlin for the pharmaceutical division, and I see a lot of talent which started in Turkey, in India, in Italy, USA, everywhere, and at some point they came to Germany as interns. So it's much easier if you have a few years of experience in your own home country with an international pharmaceutical company and move within the company to Germany, for instance, or Switzerland. And then you are here, and then it might be easier for you to switch companies.
Yeah, let's keep the answers pretty short because we are getting avalanche of questions.
Okay.
So we come through it again. I need to make a hard stop again at 4 o'clock. So
okay.
Do you have tips on how to spot those ghost jobs that have already been committed to a candidate and are posted only for compliance?
It's impossible, I would say. Yeah. And really, I think this is also partly a job hunt myth that is circulating. I don't know what you're saying, Václav, but at Bayer, we don't have these jobs. We are looking, if we are posting externally, we want to see what the external candidates are like. We don't do this for fun. Nobody has time for that.
Yeah. You see it a lot on the headhunter side, that some headhunters are basically fishing for CVs, that they are applying some fake jobs and only to collect CVs. That's happening. No, it doesn't exclude expats living in Switzerland. So if you have valid working permit, it's a completely different story. Okay. Now, did pharma companies in Switzerland hire non-EU internal talents? If yes, how easy is the process? So, yes, they do, but very, very few. And the process is not easy at all. And describe the entire process with how the company has to apply with the authorities. And again, in the Swiss federal law, it's different canton by canton. This would basically probably require another entire LinkedIn Live, which is a good idea, which I could do with an expert on Swiss working law for non-EU citizens. So thank you, Saint-Just, for this question, and I take a note. Good. So here we go again. Assuming you are a good match for the job description, how can you make your CV stand out against all the others who also fit the job description in a very competitive market? This one is for you, my friend.
Yes, for sure you need to tailor your CV, like make sure you're not exactly mirroring the same keywords, or if you try, then do it in a narrative so it comes naturally. No keyword stuffing, you're writing still for a human being, because the ATS or the AI may give you a matching score, and based on the matching score, a human recruiter will read your CV. And if he then just sees randomly stuffed keywords, you will not make it. So try to compose a narrative and at least partly mirror the most important keywords naturally.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, and next one. I'm an Irish people and operations manager living in Valencia, actively seeking my next role in Spain. I'm focusing on international companies. Also, I am editing CV, staying active on LinkedIn. I'm not getting any traction at all. As this segment of the Spanish job market is aligned with referrals and strong networks, could you please share some advice for outsider trying to build relationship and get noticed? Yeah, again, very, very philosophical question. If I can say,
not our market, really.
Yeah, Valencia is a beautiful city and with fires and all of this. But yeah, we are not Spanish expert. But I think the question to build relationship and get noticed, my philosophy is build relationship before you need those, and try to add value to the other people first. So don't approach the networking, oh, I will talk to Andreas from Bayer and he will hire me. No, try to add value. And it could be whatever, you know. Have you ever been in this and this? I don't know, in Sligo in Ireland? Okay, if not, don't hesitate to ask me for my free insider tips when you go there. If you offer something first, people feel more obliged to do something for you. Can you add something?
Yes, make it relational, not transactional, and start early on. I mean, I see it myself. I have built great relationships. For instance, Václav was one of my best contacts early on, who helped me a lot in everything, just because he could. And now I'm giving back what I can. So we are helping each other. It's a relationship. I didn't go to Václav and said, can you help me? I commented on his stuff.
I found you because you published a very cool content on LinkedIn, and that's as I have with this content, you should build up a newsletter, and here we go, and then it started, and we had already
comment on interesting companies' content, potential hiring managers, and also recruiters, and they will see you. Maybe you not always have a real direct relationship, but for instance, I know the people who are supporting my content a lot, and if they ask me for help, of course I'm inclined more to help them, because they help me by helping my visibility by commenting.
And this is, you say something very, very important. Commenting on LinkedIn is a fantastic door opener. Imagine you are popping up constantly on a profile with person with thoughtful comments which add value to the discussion. The other person has, after a few weeks, a feeling, oh, I know this guy.
Absolutely.
Already pre-established like a human relationship. Then if you ask for a connection request, your chances of being accepted are way, way higher. Yeah. What about the people who migrated with their partners are not able to find the footing? Specifically in Switzerland, your situation is definitely better, because if your husband or your partner has a working permit, it could be extended to you as well, and it's definitely easier. But
in Germany too.
Yeah. So find the footing in the new country is difficult. I'm a migrant as well, so I built everything here from scratch 36 years ago. But yeah, my philosophy was, do not expect anything. Nobody is waiting for you. Try to make positive impact on your environment yourself. Yeah. Okay, Petra, when the job description is in German and it says nothing on languages, is it accepted to send a CV and cover letter in English?
No, I would say.
Yeah,
I would say no, because I think it will rarely be the case that you don't have a job description or a job advert in German and they are not asking for fluent German. Usually this is always the case. But if a job advert is in German, well, I saw some interesting job adverts in Switzerland and they are very untypical. But the whole message is, we speak German. Yeah. So when you don't speak German and you don't even have a CV in German, forget about it. And if they say fluent German, they mean it.
Good. Let's say you find the office-based position that aligns with your profile very well, but you are not able to move there. Would you say it's worth applying nonetheless that might convince them to make it remote hybrid, or would that be a waste of everyone's time?
Indicated in your application right away that you are looking for remote or hybrid. If you are such a perfect candidate that we are tempted to talk to you anywhere, there is a little chance it might work. But in this market, I would say you're probably wasting their time and your own time.
But you said something very important, Andreas. Name the elephant in the room immediately, Make it clear from the beginning, because then we don't waste each other time. So Natalie?
Exactly. Don't play around with set the expectations right from the start. Be fully open. And when you get right away, you get your rejection, then it's okay. But at least nobody wasted time on both sides.
Is cold application still working?
No.
I think you assume with the spontaneous application. I wrote the article on it in my LinkedIn newsletter several years ago. It might be a valid functionality, but it has to be very, very specific and very well researched and very tailor-made. So generic cold application is dead. Highly specific, highly elaborated and tailor-made to the company and to the needs, for example, for a startup, might open the doors.
But mini chance, I would say, to be honest. In this market,
So, and this is a classic of what are the most sought after skills in pharma.
There's as many answers as there's job adverts for it. So it really depends. If you're looking for a quality assurance person, that's a pharmacist with QA experience. If you're looking for a data scientist with Python and machine learning, this is that. So there's no general thing that you could say that. I mean, for young natural scientists, it's so to say natural to look for an R&D position and research for a scientist position, but everybody does it. So try to build another profile like data management or some other specialities, because all those young PhDs try to get a scientist role.
Mm-hmm. Can it happen that a candidate is rejected because of being overqualified for the job? Definitely yes.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Because usually hiring managers and recruiters are afraid you are applying for this job only out of necessity. And when the market then becomes better in a year, you will be away because you are working below your qualification and on a lower salary.
Yeah. On the other hand, this is a lot of pretext, you are overqualified is another thing to say you are simply too old. Huh? That's it.
Too old or too expensive.
Yeah. Do LinkedIn recommendations play any role in the recruiting process? So if we mean those recommendations who are written somewhere hidden on the bottom of your LinkedIn profile, and I'm all constantly asking myself, so either the recommendation are valid, so they should be somewhere higher on the profile, or they are not important, so they are hidden somewhere on the bottom. What is your take on this?
Well, in LinkedIn Recruiter, the functionality that headhunters and recruiters usually use to search for candidates, the reviews or referrals are not visible at all. Mm-hmm. And I think seldomly any recruiter takes the time to read those recommendations. It's better to try to get acknowledgements for skills on LinkedIn. That makes your findability stronger. But it's nice to have those recommendations, but for a recruiter searching via LinkedIn Recruiter, they are not relevant really.
I am including them with my clients all the time in the about section, just like the golden nuggets of the LinkedIn recommendations, because then you find everything on one spot that won't be that bad. Okay, for candidates transitioning from academia to industry R&D, what are the most common gaps you see in the applications, and how can applicants better present their academic experience so it's recognized as a relevant and valuable in the industry context? This is one for you.
First, CV of an academic looks different than as for an R&D scientist in the industry. And you need to emphasize what are your practical skills that you bring to the job. I think it helps a lot to read LinkedIn profiles of people who are already in the industry, but often their profiles are also not good. So it's really hard to say. It's more about practical skills and achievements, because that PhD, magna cum laude, every second guy or girl has it too. So that's nothing you can explain in 1 minute or 2 minutes. I would need to show you really. And I'm kind of specializing also in helping people to create such CVs that tell the industry, that could be one for us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, you have another one. What about companies that keeps on posting same roles every other quarter?
Depends on the roles. Every company has evergreen roles. On this higher level, I don't know. Bayer's constantly hiring mechatronics technicians because those people retire. There's a lot of them in production, so you constantly need those people. That's not true for scientists or data managers or something like that. And it depends on the company, really. If it's a recruitment agency, they may be fishing for CVs to build a talent pool.
Yeah. Yeah, but, so Shetana, the next question, can you talk about the typical designation and magic experience level? Like what is in a typical designation that a fresh PhD should target versus a PhD plus few years of a postdoc in pharma R&D? Also, is postdoc really mandatory useful?
You or me?
I can tell you one thing, and this is like when I looked back in my own career. So I'm born 63. I finished my master in 1986. And in the old days, if you have a master of science, you'd be like already good. Later, PhD almost necessary. Then later, PhD, MBA, and nowadays is PhD, MBA, fluent in Chinese, and being a former Olympic gold medal swimmer or something like that. You know, it's getting up and up and up. So me nowadays, if I look at my client base, I would definitely like prefer to have someone who is very, very deep in AI instead of having a postdoc somewhere.
Yeah, very good point.
That would be something what I value, because you spend another 3-4 years on a postdoc, unless you work maybe for a Nobel Prize winner, when you can, get a lot of great connections, a lot of publications. This might be good, but I don't think that a postdoc is mandatory to be successful.
No. It's better to try to enter the industry earlier. The postdoc is not mandatory.
Guys, unfortunately, there are so many questions, so please don't be angry that we cannot answer all of those. And I'm simply selecting because some questions are slightly redundant. So follow-up questions to the overqualified role. What if you have a director role but want to switch gears and take on a different role? What's the best way to rely that without getting an automatic rejection?
That's a very difficult thing to do, because usually in a tight job market where there's a lot of talent actively seeking, the tendency by recruiters and hiring managers is to look for a perfect fit. Mm-hmm. And you being overqualified for that role, you're not a perfect fit. Mm-hmm. So the question would always be why? And if you don't explain it, so maybe you can use a cover letter if anybody takes the time to read it, and be straightforward, like with the I cannot do this job office-based, I'm looking for a hybrid role. Put the elephant in a room. Exactly. And either they buy it or they don't buy it. But it's always easier to be very, very close or even a perfect match than to switch anything and being overqualified. It's difficult.
And this is one which I start to talk and I hand over to Andreas. Is there a bias against females in Switzerland, given that there are many male candidates on the market as well? What are the skills that females can get when they have taken a break due to migration, COVID, family? First, I would say no. I would say that today is a bias against older, conservative white males. That's because from my candidate pool and client pool, I see the longest are searching white conservative male over 55. So I don't see any bias against females. And with this, I had several clients who has been 5 years at home with kids and all are working now. So that's a human nature. You are at home with kids, you come back to the process, and at the end is the same story. How do you position yourself? What are the skills? What are the transferable skills for the no position? How would you answer this, Andreas?
I agree with you. I'm also seeing that it's often white males, middle-aged, so me, you. So, but it also touches women. I mean, age is more a matter of discrimination than whether you are being a male or a female. And if you are, I don't know, companies are much more open regarding family, parental leave, and especially, I mean, I come from a company that really appreciates diversity, which also touches not only whether you're male or female, but LGBTQ community, people from developing countries and stuff like that. So for me, it's hard to tell, but I would generally agree, whether you're male or female, this is not so decisive.
Exactly. Sri Davis, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us. For someone applying to opportunities in the DACH region from another country with around 2 years of experience, what key criteria do employers typically look for when considering candidates for an offer, apart from proficiency in German? I would really value
You
your
need to be an
insight.
almost perfect match for the requirements of the role, and then you need to hope that the competition is not too high. If you're a research scientist and there's a lot of research scientists already on the local market, then it's really, really hard. Are you a natural scientist with a strong AI profile solving problems that the pharmaceutical industry needs to solve, and there's few of such talents, then your chances are much better. You need to find your niche.
Hilal, how important are the cover letters?
Well, more often pronounced that than Elvis Presley, but I think Elvis is done now. Well, I would say cover letters still can make sense, especially in Switzerland. Well, for Switzerland, you are more the expert, but in Germany, buyer managers love cover letters. I love cover letters, to be honest. If I'm really interested in a candidate and I have the time, then I'm reading the cover letter. But it needs to be special and really telling something more about you than just a CV. If you don't feel you have to tell something that adds value in your cover letter and it's not requested, then leave it away.
Hilal, go to my newsletter. You find their article, How to Write a Perfect Motivation Letter, Human versus ChatGPT. And there I explain it. Make sure that if you, for example, Novartis doesn't require any cover letters. Me, in the ideal world, I would apply with my LinkedIn profile. I would get rid of CVs. I would get rid of motivational letter. But if you write one, please make sure that the first sentence is clicking with the poor recruiter who is reading this the whole day. So may your opening sound like something you are emotional connected yourself to the job. And I tell you a very, very extreme example, and then you cannot write opening to every application like that. But my oldest daughter survived the breast cancer due to Herceptin from Roche. And I am applying for Roche. You can be sure I write it in the first sentence, Roche, you saved the life of my daughter, and I'm forever grateful, and I will be be of this part of this fantastic team who makes things like this happen. You can be sure the hiring manager will read this. And instead of I hear this applying, you don't tell them that you are applying because you are already sending the letter. So why would you tell them? So
yeah, it's funny, but still many people start their cover letters like that. Don't do this.
No. And again, important is the opening. And if everyone is writing with AI the cover letters, please write a cover letter in a way that only a human being can write it. And if you are really keen on going further, write the application letter by hand and send it by mail. Because everybody goes in email, if you write, when did you get last time a handwritten letter of someone?
A few years ago.
Yeah.
As an application.
Just give me a second. Could you kindly clarify if it's true that recruiters are actively searching on LinkedIn, or we should stick to applications on companies' portal? This is one for you, my friend.
You need both, but in a market like that, where there's a lot of talent on the market, actively searching and sending applications, naturally headhunters and recruiters will search less for the talent because the talent comes to them. But you need both. You need a strong, fully optimized profile, so the findability of your profile is great using the right keywords, and you need to apply. Nobody, even not executives, I know usually executives are used to being found, but there's a lot of great executives actively sending applications or paying someone to do it for them. So you need both, and applications in this market are more important, but you have to have a strong LinkedIn profile. That's mandatory.
We won't answer any questions around the US market because both of us are not expert for that. So sorry for that, but I pick another one. For pharma jobs in Switzerland, could you share if picture, nationality, age are relevant to include in CVs? Yes, the Swiss standard is picture. The Swiss standard is not that important, the nationality, but important is the working permit. So if you are a Swiss or EU citizen, that's clear. If not, then if you have the B or C or whatever you have, and age is a standard in Switzerland, which is B. I know several people. One of my friends, she never put her age on the CV. She was highly specialized in oncology, and she got hired at 67. Probably if the company would see the age from the beginning, they even wouldn't invite. But she was a very, very specific expert on one sort of cancer. So that's a different. So yes, and yes. So if I have transferable skills instead of actual skills that are asked in the job description, is it okay to bring out the gap and to be honest? Yes. I think honesty is the best way. And again, we are back to the topic, name the elephant in the room and frame it in a way that's still, okay, I'm missing this, but based on my transferable skills, I'm sure I will be able to deliver in 6 months from now on this role with this skill as well. So this is...
Either they believe you or they don't. But the worst thing that you can do is applications or interviews are always about selling yourself, but never oversell and bend reality towards a lie, because you need to deliver at some point. Either it comes out in the interview or it comes out in the probationary period, and you won't make yourself happy with that, having lied before.
This is a very, very tricky one, dear Hilal. Thank you for this question. Say you sent cold messages to director, lead CEO, and you got a response. What would you recommend for discussion, especially if it's after in-person catch-up in another environment? I think this is there are two completely different scenarios, because if it's after in-person catch-up in another environment, it's a not cold message anymore because the person has already seen you. Cold messages, I would say that 90% of the people write absolutely terrible messages. And the message should be written in a way, it shouldn't shout out, oh, do you have a job for me?
Yes.
So if I reach out to someone who doesn't know me, I try to first write in the connection message all commonalities which are there between us. Because the more you have in common with the other person and tell it, the less you are basically dangerous. Because a human being is looking at another human being a lot of time primarily as a danger. Oh, I don't know this person, it might be dangerous. If you tell me that you studied on the same university, have 20 years of experience in pharma, and you live in the Basel area, you are like me, I immediately accept you. So the cold message should be as warm as possible. And
perfectly described, very well, yeah.
And the response is all the time, your response should be showing interest in the other person and not pushing the envelope for your own good.
Yes. Don't make it transactional, make it relational.
Exactly. Wow, 32 minutes already. And this is very, very demanding, answering the question. This is much more difficult than talking about the topic. Do you see it?
No, I still see the question before. Okay.
Yeah, no, but it's really, this kind of answering question is more demanding for me personally than the old LinkedIn Live when we've been discussing a topic.
Okay. Yeah, it is, but it's fun somehow. Feels like more challenge.
Feels like a job interview.
Yes, we are being interviewed, kind of.
If we have a gap in research profile and then want to again come back into active research-based roles, how do we present ourselves in the application? Again, the same story, name it actively. This is it. I spent now 3 years at home doing my kids. On the side, I've been reading all relevant publications. So in the theory, I'm up to date. I will need some time to catch up in the lab, and here I go. That would be something.
And if you like, it's always better to give more detail for a gap than keep people guessing. If people guess, they will guess the worst, something negative, and will pass on you. If you tell like parental leave, but I acquired this and this certificate, don't write parental leave and father education. Make it specific, because everybody can say, oh, I was on parental leave, but I did father education. Doesn't
Yeah.
mean anything. But if you have certificates or courses, then you did something you can prove.
I have a question from my side, Andreas, for you. How
Yes.
important is a candidate LinkedIn profile in your daily recruiting work? Do you actually look at it before or during the hiring process? When you get the application letter, do you immediately pull up the person's LinkedIn profile? How does this look like on your side?
For me, it's different. It depends, but I know, and I do it also often, a lot of people compare hiring managers or recruiters if they are like, you pass the first initial 30-second screen of the CV. Often people check, okay, and what do they have on their LinkedIn profile? What did they post about? What did they comment about? Maybe even the referrals we had before. Like, if I'm really interested in a candidate, I want to find out more about the candidate, I might inspect the profile very thoroughly. So even we circle back, even in a tough market where applications are the most dominant source for interviews, you still have to have a strong interview that presents you very well. Business cards are that. LinkedIn is your online business card. It's you, basically. And that's, there's a joke. It's not stalking. I'm networking on LinkedIn, right? So everybody checks everybody out on LinkedIn.
Would you tailor your CV? Do you need to retailer your LinkedIn? Yes, tailor your CV. Don't retailer your LinkedIn, because your LinkedIn needs to be there. Even if you have 3 parallel applications, you need to basically cover all of those. You cannot tweak your LinkedIn all the time. Try to make a LinkedIn broader and your CV specific to the role.
Yeah. Have the right keywords for your top 3 roles and make it look naturally. It's not so easy, but it's doable. You can achieve that.
This is an interesting one, Ileana. Mulțumesc. What would be the reason for a recruiting company has changed the job description content on their website for the role for which the interviews are ongoing? Example, my first interview was with the first job description and the second is with a different job description, which I have noticed by chance. I would say this is a disaster. It shouldn't be definitely like that. You shouldn't rewrite the job description in the interview process, but you probably know more about it, Andreas.
Yeah, that happens. A few interviews have happened, and a hiring manager realizes that he has invited candidates that are missing a certain qualification that maybe he or she hasn't had strongly enough in the job advert, or they realize too late, oh damn, I forgot about this and that, and it's really important. And then they change the job description to find different candidates who have what hasn't been there before. It's stupid. It's less than ideal, but happens sometimes.
Yeah, and this is and one for a LinkedIn Live for 45 minutes. So what does make a good LinkedIn profile? Natalie, if I tell it as a sprint, it should be, I should immediately see from your headline what you can do for me. So if you have in your headline only your current position, I don't know what you do. So your headline should be your position. What do you do? How do you do it? What do you achieve for your focus group? Please be sure that you have an attractive banner, nice actual picture, a headline, and the about section where I found everything about you. And the LinkedIn profile shouldn't be a dead standing business card, but there should be some content. That's a good LinkedIn profile in my eyes.
Yeah. And the about profile, the about sections should have a narrative about your successes, the value that you are bringing and everything. Because if you like it or not, in the first place, a recruiter or a hiring manager will look for what does this person bring to my team? What value do they add? That's the most important thing that stands in the foreground. All else comes much later. If you don't immediately realize what value you are adding to their team, they will pass on you.
Yeah. And if you have achievements, it could be publications in important journals. If you have a patent, if you, I don't know, in the last role, you achieved to reduce the throughput times in your company by 15%, make it quantifiable. Don't just make the other side assume something. Tell us exactly. Yeah. Next time I will try to send a handwritten cover letter. Maybe it could be a truly game changer. So I advise people, if you have a dream job, do this, and you get into the interview, do this after the interview. Go in the paper shop, get a nice handily done piece of paper, write in a fountain pen on it 2 sentences taking thank you, and send it to your interviewer.
They will for sure remember.
And it's all about being remembered. So only this haptical exercise, I'm opening an envelope, this is nice paper, there is a handwritten, no, wow, that's a game changer. No one does it. Try it.
And one other thing, if you see a telephone number and a job advert, call those people. Nobody calls anybody anymore. Everybody just writing emails. If you have a telephone number, I know it doesn't happen often, but if you see a telephone number, try it. They have a reason why they have a telephone number there.
Yeah, this speaks exactly out of my soul, because I'm someone who hates emails. So I would 100 times prefer to make a phone call than write the email. Very nice.
I did this back in the other company where we had telephone numbers. I sometimes have been called by people, often by starters, juniors who were looking to make an entry in the industry. And I always took the time and spoke within 15, 20 minutes, given a short summary of what to do, not to do to land a job as a starter. And I added them to my talent pool. And I would remember, I don't know, if you have a name like me, Andreas Schulz is legion in my generation in Germany, but I would remember that Daniela Müller or Mandy Müller because she called me.
Yeah, we have a few minutes to go, dear Andreas. So it was again, I just something for general public. Both Andreas and myself have a newsletter when we are sharing all informations about tips and tricks, how to set up a profile, how to behave in job interview. Andreas has a very, very deep insight about the myths and facts about job hunting all the time, very deeply and very, very well researched. So subscribe to those newsletters so you don't miss important information. Because what I see in Andreas's newsletter, you pay hundreds of euros or Swiss francs for advice which is not that good as the freely available advice on his newsletter.
But yours is also the same quality. And if I may ask something, I love that you're writing me direct messages, but most of the questions you're asking me, you can very well ask me under every post. And the good thing is those questions and my answers and what other people might comment, it's a benefit for everybody. So please, if you have a question, it's not too personal, ask under my post. It doesn't need to relate to the topic. Just ask it. I will answer anyway.
Good. Last question. I found it difficult to find the questions to ask. Any hints on good questions? For me, this is basically no-brainer. I describe the situation to Claude or to ChatGPT and ask him, hey, could you generate me a set of questions? Then I look at those. Okay, make it sound more human. This is me. Could you do it, please, based on my experience? The more information you feed to AI, the better answers you get, and you will generate a fantastic question very, very quickly.
And if you know you're not a good match, then or you're not a perfect match, you can say, hey, I saw you're looking for this and that. I have this and that. Can we still come together, or do you have a talent pool? Maybe there's another role that might fit me better in a while. So it's a certain chance to make a contact and be remembered.
Thank you very much, guys, for being with us. And we just been discussing in the beginning of the call with Andreas that we do like an institution out of this, and we do something like that maybe every 2 months. So bear with us, keep on following us. Thank you for all the great questions. And yeah, this is from my...
Tell us in the comments if you would like that, and if 8 weeks, every 8 weeks would be interesting for you, or because, yeah, we don't know if it too often might be too much.
Yeah,
but
okay.
we really love the live format, right, Václav? We like it. So
it's perfect. I'm looking forward to it every time, and it's a great way to interact with people and share some knowledge, even if we are not gods and we don't know everything. But if we don't know beating around the bush, we simply say we don't know.
And I would like to thank everybody, and we want to thank everybody who's supporting us by commenting, by reposting. Guys, it's really, really important for us because it is a lot of work, this writing and everything. We give a lot of advice for free. And when you are commenting or reposting or saving, bookmarking our content, that gives us more visibility, and that helps a lot. Thank you very much for that.
And there is a lot of superficial career advice, which is basically wrong. And that's why we try to inform and keeping the stuff real. Thank you so much, guys. And looking forward to see some of you in our LinkedIn Live. And I'm closing the
Thanks, Václav. Thanks, everybody. Have a nice afternoon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.